Hey guys, welcome. Today we wanted to do something different and take a moment to talk about a time that was actually quite difficult in our lives. And this was the moment when Clelia was diagnosed with Crohn's disease.
Yeah, and after a time, I feel ready to share with you this story, guys, because every time that I do this, that I share this story, I see that this is some benefit that come out. So I really hope that you will enjoy and maybe take some suggestion also for you.
So before we get into this story, I think it's really important to make clear that we're not medical professionals and we're not intending to give any sort of medical advice. This is just the experience of one person. This is just Clelia's experience of being diagnosed with Crohn's disease and what she did to treat herself. Just because it worked for her doesn't mean it will work for you, but maybe understanding the process that she went through and all the difficulties and how she got the results that she did, maybe will give you some inspiration or some insights into your own life and your own health.
Yeah, guys, and remember that each of us is completely different. We are a unique person in the world. So again, you need to stay connected with yourself, with your truth, and so what is good for you. Okay, this is my story and what I did for myself. And like every story in the world, we start from the beginning to arrive to the end. So it was in 2018. I was living in Thailand. I was doing my normal life. I was trying to be healthy, to stay healthy with a good diet and no drugs, no alcohol. I was doing yoga.
Lots of yoga.
Yeah.
She was doing lots of yoga.
Yeah, lots of yoga because I was doing these very intense Kundalini programs. So I was really in the practice. And was going, work, normal life in a tropical island, so almost a dream somehow. I was very, happy and everything was going well. Andrew was in Canada, but we was already engaged,
Yeah.
and so I was waiting for him to come back. So everything was good. And then one day, I don't know, I probably eat some food was not good, and I had the classic symptom of poison food, that it's I was start to before throw up and then start to go to the toilet during the night. I had fever, I was so that is quite normal. So in the morning I just call a friend and ask to bring me to the hospital. They did a very fast test. They tell me there is a bacteria. They was asking me if I wanna, stay in the hospital, but because I didn't have the insurance, they tell me it's okay, if nothing, take some pills.
They're always like this where we live in Thailand. No matter what you have, even if you stub your toe, they're like, you need to stay 3 nights in the hospital. You get IV fluids and antibiotics.
$8,000 million.
Yes.
So of course. As soon as I tell them I don't have the insurance, they tell me, okay, take the pills, it will be okay. And they give me the antibiotics, and they give me 3 days of antibiotic. It was a bit strange, but I trusted. So went home, take the pills. Great, I was good. And after maybe 1 week, maybe 10 days, I don't remember, after that time, I was sick again. So now the point is I didn't went extremely panic at this moment, because sometimes these bacteria from the food are a little bit challenge to really get rid of. And I had some friend that have for months, so I was not panic. I was like, okay, it's still the same. Went back to the hospital again. So okay, they do the exam, and then again they see that there was a bacteria, and the doctor asked me, why did you take only 3 days of pills? I don't know, so anyway, now they give me 10 days of antibiotics. I took it, very challenging time, very difficult, because take antibiotics very strong in the warm temperature in Thailand. It's a bit of drama, it's heavy. And also, I'm not really a fan of the pills, but again, in this case, was for me the only fast solution, so I took it. I went through. Great, in the end of the day, I was good. And they went for maybe this a little bit longer, maybe 3 weeks, a little bit more. In the same time, he was back. And then I went again sick, and I went back again to the hospital. This time I asked to have some more specific tests to look for, I don't know, salmonella or this kind
of more rare bacteria
Yeah.
that could cause these symptoms.
Exactly, to maybe, can happen, but they didn't know what was. They tell me it's a bacteria, we don't know what, and take again pills. So I don't look at this point. It's okay.
Come on.
So, okay. I tried different things and then I would see what happens. So we tried different things. I tried different things. Also, I did some weird things like when I was drinking this juice.
I convinced me and some other friends, we told her to drink the papaya seed because the papaya seed has this strong for clearing out worms and other digestive things.
Tremendo.
It's not nice.
Yeah, because I also hate papaya already, so drink this juice, it was like, drink black pepper, I don't know. Anyway, it was not working. I did fasting. I drink coconut water for a couple of days only. I start to eliminate food from my diet that was make me more sick.
Because at this point, you were going to the toilet all the time.
Yeah. In fact, at this point, there was no anymore the throw up and the fever. I had only these extremely pain cramps and going to the toilet 1,000 times per day. Of course, whatever I was eating was going directly to the riches. And I would start to lose weight, very sick and very
low
stanca,
energy.
Low energy.
Stanca means tired.
Yeah, tired. It's stanca. It's Italian. Sorry, very tired. And I was struggling. I was fighting with myself, not only for the pain, but also because I was wake up in the morning and I was ready to go sleep again. So for me, it was a big struggle because I couldn't do nothing anymore. I stopped my, the training.
If you've done any of her classes, she's a very full power woman. So to see her like really with no energy is a completely other person.
Yeah, it was.
Not
But
nice.
eventually, we went through, and then we arrived in August. That I was extremely sick, and then also I started to have some deficits, I suppose, already there because. At this point, I went back to the hospital because I need some more tests to understand what was going on. And at this point, I went panic. I went panic because they find the occult blood on the stool,
Yes.
that it's a little bit more dangerous than the visible blood.
It's like a microscopic blood, so you don't actually see it in the toilet.
You don't see this, red flash on the toilet. That this can happen, but it's less dangerous than that. And my PCR, that is this, test where they can tell you how much. If there is inflammation in the body, not exactly where, but if there is inflammation in the body, it was going crazy, guys. It was going very up. And if this this PCR go very, very up, it's symptom, for example, that you have cancer, So it's just alarm again, no medic. So I'm not a doctor, so I don't know exactly what is it, but what I know that more I is it and it's bad. So I won't panic, So I won't panic. And the medical system in Thailand, it's private, so it was very extremely expensive. There was a little bit the barrier of the language because I'm Italian, there was Thai, and our English is not always perfect, so there was some misunderstanding in the middle, so this and that, blah, 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 panic, buy a ticket, fly back to Italy.
And this was in August, and our wedding was planned for the end of September.
Perfetto.
So she's panicked, go back to Italy. I'm panicked because I've got my family coming to Thailand for the wedding, and I'm so worried. What if she doesn't make it back, and I end up here with my family, no wedding?
Yeah, but I was more panicked than that.
It's more important, of course. It's more
I flew
important.
back. in August, where Italy is closed. I mean, everybody is going on holiday, so for thanks to my mother and this lucky coincidence, we had a friend that she was working in the hospital especially of the digestive system. So good enough, she prescribed. She prescribed me some more specific test to see if the inflammation was more in the upper part, in the center, or in the end of the intestine. And with this test, she was able to understand where the inflammation was, and for me it was more at the colon. And also I still have this exam, so maybe we can show, because the difference between the first one that I did and the last one that I did is crazy. And
we'll show you later. Foreshadowing.
Yeah. when I see the numbers, it was another shock. Like I think they did wrong. I asked to the look. I think that maybe the machine wrote something wrong, because the number was like extremely high.
The threshold was something like 50.
Yeah.
And she was in the thousands.
Yeah, 1,200 something. It was crazy. So it was like, okay, something is going on. So at this point, she sent me to do a colonoscopy, because there is a gastroscopy where you see what happens in this part, and the colon is from down to up. So we didn't do this, because she told me, here, look, that everything is okay. In fact, again, I didn't have any problem
when you're eating immediately.
Yeah, no heartburn, nothing. Just more was from the end of the intestine. So with the colonoscopy, there's a picture of my colon, and of course it was not the best picture that I saw of my colon, because everybody have a picture of the colon. Anyway, and it was a very high state of inflammation. There was many small cut all around. There was a principle of ulcers, sorry. And so she sent also, the part of this, she takes some sample from the skin inside and do the biopsy
test.
That the result it's arrived 2 weeks later, because take time. This is to check if it was cancer, because it can be, in this case, can be the principle. So it was good to know, because of course completely different if you have inflammation or if you go through a cancer, of course. But still, when she was back, she told me, and I was still a little bit confused, because I still have the flebo from the
She's still stoned from the painkillers.
I was stoned from the painkillers. I was like, and but she told me, look, I work with that. So this picture, it's really similar to people that suffer about Crohn disease. So she told me 90% you have the Crohn disease. Yeah. I was a little bit shocked, because where it come from? How it's possible somehow.
Crohn's disease is a chronic illness, usually meaning that you have it for a lifetime.
And at this point, again, because she was friend and this and that, she told me, look, we don't even wait the result of the biopsy, but I immediately prescribe to you this treatment for the inflammation, and the fast way is the cortisone. So when I hear this, the cortisone, wow, wait a moment, I don't know exactly what is it, but something inside me was telling me, wait a moment, don't go directly on this direction, take a little bit time. So look, thank you so much, for everything. It's extremely helpful, and thank you. But, for me, what's important to know what is it that make me sick. And now that I know what is it, I will working through, and I will maybe find a solution. And, but, at the moment, I don't wanna take the treatment and the pills. She looked at me like, with big eyes, like a panic. So what do you mean? My mother also was So I decided, look, I don't want to take, I'm okay, just give me time and then we will see what happens, and thank you so much. So I signed, and I went away from the hospital, and again, she was a bit shocked about it. And the things is that I went back home, and I start to, read a little bit in what is the Crohn disease, what is the cortisone, take the, first information around this physical illness, and the things is that 3 days after
Your test.
She called me, because again, she was a friend, so she really believed in the system where she's working. This is great, because of course, if you don't believe even the system where you work, it's it's like if we don't believe in what we are doing, This is important, And so she called me and she told me, look, blah blah blah. Italians talk a lot, and then eventually, fuori dai denti in Italian, it is in between the line, the message was, look, if you don't take these pills, you will die, or you will have a very serial consequence. Serial?
If you don't take these pills, you will die. Severe.
With the milk.
Severe.
Severe consequence.
She was really trying to convince her to take the pills.
Yeah,
she said, you need to take these pills.
Yeah. She really, went to really, touch me inside. And at this point I said, look, because our plan was also going to India, so at that time, I have the wedding where I need to go to India, so I don't even time to stay. She was going crazy, panic. She screaming. No, she didn't scream on me, but she was very pushing. I said, look, we arrived in this, agreement. I said, okay, let do like this. Send me the message with all, the name of the pills, how many I need to take it, for how long, all the treatment, blah, 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 blah. And if I need, I will take, if I really feel that I'm near to diet, I will take, of course, the pills. Of course, I don't, I will do what is necessary to do. But, at the moment, let me, my time to go through what I think it's my process and what is good for me. So the message that she sent to me, because then I look at her, I was shocked. I was extremely shocked because the message is long like this. I'm supposed to take pills, the cortisone for, 3 months, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then the pills for the vitamin D, and then the pills for this, and then the pills for maintain. So eventually pills for the rest of my life.
The thing is, it's considered a chronic illness, something that lasts for the lifetime. And there's not actually any cure for it, because there's not even a defined cause for it. So the way that the medical system usually handles this sort of diagnosis is just with a long-term treatment. Mm-hmm. When the disease flares up, when it's more active, it's a more strong treatment, such as the cortisone or other very strong and also very expensive mm-hmm. medicines. And then when the flare-up goes away, it's still a matter of treatment, just trying to keep it suppressed. But it's a lifetime of different pills and different medications.
Yeah, because the pills after is to maintain this state of this regression, and then also because the treatment, like the cortisone, is very strong, and part of the problem of the Crohn disease is the vitamin D and B. And the iron, because the colon cannot anymore absorb or anyway, so that there is this. So you need to take also pills for that, because it's,
you're fighting anemia the whole time and low energy.
Yeah,
yes,
so again, this pill. And look, I was shocked. I was really shocked about that. But anyway, I'm not in this, I don't wanna, discredit the medical system. In fact, I still have the message in my phone. I still, in the chat archiviate, I still have the message with all, because, if happens again, at least I know that I have this, like a solution, very fast solution, not to take out the symptom, the pain, and this. But at the same time, at that moment, I had again this, voice inside me, and thanks to the, support of my mother, the support of Andrew, I really decided to follow my intuition, and I completely refused the cure. At this point, it was clear in my mind.
So that's the story of Clelia's diagnosis with Crohn's disease and all the events that led up to this. In our next video, part 2, we're going to go into what Clelia actually did to treat this diagnosis and all the different things that she went through in order to arrive at a very healthy state now. So hopefully this gives you a bit of backstory, and maybe in the next video you will find some inspiration or some insight, or even just enjoy the story.
Yeah, so we are arriving the end of the story, and I hope that you have enjoyed, and in the next one again find some maybe inspiration. Thank you, bye bye, and like and subscribe.